Breaking tonight, Detroit's casino workers voting to authorize a strike.
Union leaders for Motor City Casino, Hollywood at Greektown, and the MGM Grand have been negotiating a new contract since the beginning of this month. Fox News' Camille and Mary joins us now. And Camille, what happens now?
Well, the votes came down about 9:40 after voting ended around 9 o'clock. They have authorized a strike. That does not mean they're going to be walking out of the casino. Maybe not until the middle of October. Take a look at some videos. So we're talking about the casinos in Detroit. This is not a nationwide thing, but this is the casinos in Detroit who are obviously all unionized. We're talking about MGM. We're talking about Greektown. We're talking about Motor City. And we're talking about everybody from top to bottom, everybody that works in the hotel, who works in the kitchen, who works on the gaming floor. So if they decide to walk out in the middle of October when their contract expires, this could definitely be a very interesting turn of events, especially if the UAW strike is still going on and if that strike has expanded to include more plants. So right now, we just want to make it clear that they have authorized the union, that the Detroit Gaming Commission, that their union has authorized a strike. So that means basically like, okay, we're ready, we can do this. We're going to go ahead if we don't reach some kind of agreement with the casinos when their contract ends, which is the middle of October. So they do have some time. Of course, they are fighting for higher wages. We all know how bad inflation has been. Everyone here is saying that basically they're being paid what they used to be paid, with things keep going up more and more in price. They just want to be able to keep up and not live paycheck to paycheck. So we weren't completely surprised by this news, but still, just with the UAW, it's an interesting turn of events, to say the least. For now, we're live downtown. Camille and Mary on the Edge.
Camille, also the UAW raising the stakes of their strike. Ford's Chicago Assembly and GM's Lansing Delta Assembly walking off the job today.
As Fox News' Dave Kinchin tells us tonight, the UAW, they're not backing down.
This means that maybe I can get a chance in getting hired in.
Lakeisha Whittington is among several workers outside GM's Lansing Delta Township Assembly who make up 7,000 more UAW workers hoisting the on-strike signs as the union escalates its protest against the Detroit automakers. She says she's been a temp for too long.
Back in the day, you used to get hired in 90 days. Now I've been working 18 months and I'm still not getting no benefits. I'm watching everybody else around me getting all the profit sharing checks, all the bonus checks. I get nothing. I don't get no days off or nothing. I just gotta work.
Something for
the retirees.
The retirees. The retirees. They need increases.
Well, expectations haven't changed. Our demands haven't changed.
UAW boss Shawn Fain activated the Lansing workers and employees at Ford Chicago Assembly in Chicago to strike after he says Ford and GM failed to make major bargaining headway with union vice presidents in recent days. But it marks a change from the progress Fain said he secured with Ford on tiers and job security just 1 week ago.
What changed with Ford over the last week?
They just didn't, meet objectives where we need to be, and we went backwards this week. And that happens in bargaining, but we have expectations, and we're trying to get agreements done. We want to get these agreements settled for our members. We don't want our members to be out here on the picket line. We want them in the factory making great product for people to buy.
The additional demonstrations build upon the first major escalation last week, where workers at all GM and Stellantis parts distribution centers in 20 states walked off the job, putting dealership service centers behind in securing parts for needed repairs. Ford was originally spared from that expansion, but now CEO Jim Farley says it's the union holding up a deal.
Here's the bottom line from Ford's perspective. First, Ford has offered an incredible contract that would change the lives of over 57,000 workers for the better. Second, we believe the UAW is holding up the deal over battery plants that won't come online for another 2 to 3 years.
Meantime, workers are staying focused on their goals.
We need more money. Everything around us is going up. Like, we need raises too.
Meantime, both Stellantis and the UAW say progress is in the works. GM's CEO released a statement saying that the UAW is more interested in getting headlines for additional strikes than being serious about negotiations. So the drama continues. In Lansing, Dave Kinchin on the Edge.
Well, she was the longest-serving female senator in American history and had plans to retire at the end of her term.
As many mourn the passing of Senator Dianne Feinstein, a local gun store is offering a contemptuous promotion in the wake of her death. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack has this story.
There's a difference of opinion, and then there's this story. Putting a politician's face on a bag of ammunition to sell the same day they die, along with a message that'll make you do a double take.
At our busiest during the pandemic, we made about 14, 15 million rounds that year.
The ammunition business, it's still booming.
We have a low recoil 9mm round that's great for competitive shooting.
Justin Nazaroff and his brother own Phoenix Ammunition in Novi. Friday morning, Justin woke up pumped up after a Lions win.
So already a great start to the morning, and then we hear that Senator Dianne Feinstein passed away.
Out of death, birthed an idea.
So it says, R.I.P. Dianne Feinstein, laugh out loud, bye.
Ridiculing politicians in this way, it's kind of his thing, especially politicians who support gun control, like the late Senator Dianne Feinstein out of California has for decades.
I think it's exactly what she deserves. I think most politicians deserve to be mocked and ridiculed as much in death as in life.
Then there was this post to the ammo company's 117,000 followers on X, formerly Twitter. It says, to celebrate the death of Senator Feinstein, we are offering free shipping on ammunition to California.
Dianne Feinstein couldn't care less about me, so I couldn't care less about Dianne Feinstein.
Apparently in California, you can't ship bullets directly to your home. Has to go to a gun store, and then you have to pass a background check.
We decided to offer free shipping, and hopefully that will energize them and get them into the polls, ideally. I mean, it's California, so she'll probably be replaced by somebody even worse, let's be honest.
Justin, by the way, is a libertarian. He says with a lowercase L. We asked him what he'd say to Feinstein's family, who'd likely be appalled by his commentary.
If they were really her friends or really looking out for her as her family members, they would have told her to retire 10 years ago and enjoy the final years of her life out on the beach someplace.
At last check Friday night, Phoenix Ammunition's post about Feinstein on X had almost 10,000 likes and counting. Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Well, he shot and killed 4 students nearly 2 years ago.
And now the Oxford High School shooter is eligible for life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge making that ruling today, citing mountains of evidence. The suspect planned the shooting. It comes after days of testimony from this summer's Miller hearing, a necessary hearing to determine if the juvenile was eligible for life without parole. The shooter killed 4 students and left 7 others injured in November of 2021.
Defendant planned to cause the biggest school shooting in Michigan. He did not want to kill himself because he wanted to see the world react to the shooting.
The shooter will be sentenced on December 8th. Today's decision doesn't mean he'll be given life without parole. It's up to the judge in the case to decide.
We estimate there are crews and operations all across the country in a pretty substantial number. Oftentimes, they purchase fake identification and they begin their criminality.
A rise in thefts at high-end homes in Oakland County has police on edge. About a dozen have been committed just in the past year alone. The items stolen range from luxury watches to precious metals, cash, and even jewelry. The people believed to be behind the crimes, gangs from South America. Police believe they consist of illegal immigrants crossing the southern border. Sheriff Mike Bouchard pointing the finger at Washington when it comes to not securing the border. Can't believe it. I mean, everything that's going back so quickly. It's already almost October. You wouldn't know it with the weather, though.
I know it's going to feel like summer, and Stephanie, that's going to feel pretty nice as we try to enjoy our weekend.
For sure, especially coming off of the past 3 days where it's been very gloomy. It's been kind of cool too, just in terms of those highs. A lot of us right now still settling into the 60s. Few of us have dipped into the upper 50s. Up near Lapeer, you're at 56, 61 in Flint, 62 in Pontiac. Here in Detroit, we're at 64 degrees, so not bad this evening. Across the country, there's nothing really glaring at the moment. Out near parts of Minnesota, we have a few showers and then some flooding showers and some flooding rain out near New York in the north and east there. But that's going to stay well out of our hair. In fact, we are decreasing any moisture activity. We should actually see a bit more sunshine as we get deeper into your weekend. So overall, as a whole, I think we do see improving conditions across the board as we head through the next several days. Sky Tracker showing just that with our temperatures and our sky conditions clearing out. So our numbers here heading into tonight will bottom out in the upper 50s, 58 degrees. Some fog possible, but I think a lot of us will wake up to clearer skies. And I do think we see a lot of sunshine tomorrow, 76 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. Morning fog possible. I don't think as widespread as this morning. And then as we head through the afternoon, we should see more sunshine. Our numbers respond to that. We should top out in the mid to upper 70s during the day tomorrow. And then by Sunday, even warmer, upper 70s to near 80 degrees. So that summer-like feel returns just in time for this upcoming weekend. We should be settling into the upper 60s. So this is almost a good 10 degrees warmer than where we should be for this time of year. And that is paired up with a lot of sunshine. Those warmer conditions here will settle in not only this weekend, but through much of next week, at least for the first 3 days or so before we see our next weather maker arrive. And this is going to bring us not only those cooler conditions, but also that potential for rain and some widespread rain, especially late Thursday and potentially into Friday. The extended forecast shows numbers cooling at a rather quick pace here by the end of the week. By, say, Thursday, we'll be in the upper 60s, lower 70s, and then low 60s by the end of the week next week with shower chances around through the morning and afternoon. Ruben, Taryn?
Thanks, Stephanie. Well, if you've been in Detroit lately, chances are that you've seen a lot of murals.
The public art is popping up everywhere thanks to a new project. Murals in the Island View neighborhood have been popping up since Tuesday. 30 artists on one wall are making murals on one of the streets there between Charlevoix and East Verner on Detroit's east side. The artists are working with One Time Run, a company selling art online.
Traveled the world. We've been a part of mural festivals in other countries and other cities, all throughout the U.S. and the world, and we've really seen what kind of catalyst it does to spark a neighborhood because it gets people paying attention where they might have just driven through.
Beaufait Street looking nice because of all the color there. Now this wall surrounding a DTE substation. On Saturday, people are invited to check out the art at a block party celebrating this big project.